Zealand, a 3-day weekend may soon become the new norm. Perpetual Garden is an advisory firm, and it's allowing its employees to work 4 days a week while being paid for 5. The company's saying productivity has actually increased. Chief Executive Andrew Barnes joins me now from Auckland. Good to see you, sir. This is a very interesting idea. First of all, the employees have to opt into this, don't they? And there has to be some form of productivity goal to ensure they're not slacking.
That's exactly right, Richard. How it works is each of our employees opts in. We're running it at a year cycle. And for that, they have committed to deliver a level of productivity that's agreed between management and the employee. If they deliver that productivity, then I will gift them a day off every week.
Andrew, does this work in all forms of work? I mean, productivity gains. How would you, for example, how do you judge productivity gains in this? Can it work in different companies?
I believe it can. I think the start point is you have a sensible conversation with your employees about what they think productivity, acceptable level of productivity is. Obviously, as a manager and an owner, we have a view of what acceptable productivity is. At the highest level, the profitability of the company and the revenue levels of the company.
I know you looked at the data and you saw the research, and certainly from what you've seen, staff are happier, they're working harder and they're working more productively. It seems to be a win-win, but why am I suspicious that it is?
Well, frankly, this is something that we've known about for years. I think one of the very earliest experiments with this was a British munitions factory in the First World War that cut its working day from 7 days to 6 days. The productivity of shells went up, the quality of the shells went up. We've known about this for a long time, but those of us of my generation, our generation, we're committed to the fact that working long hours equals working harder, equals working smarter. And we've got to get over that and look at the effectiveness of that type of working day in the 21st century.
And then you get this, obviously, like today we're reporting Amazon increasing the minimum wage to $15 an hour for Amazon employees. This balancing act between increasing pay versus time off or 4-day week, because I know you're still paying them the same amount as for the 5 as for the 4, but which do employees prefer? More free time or higher pay? Probably both.
Well, I think the critical point, Richard, is ask. When we did our initial trial, we went to the employees and said, what do you want? How would you do this? And I know that there are some companies where people will say we would just rather have flexibility and higher pay, but work longer hours. So I think the starting point is actually to have that open, honest dialogue with your employees. And that, bizarrely, is the thing that gets you the better productivity. It's just, having that open conversation.
Do you work a 4-day week?
In all of the companies that I own, I work a 4-day week.
Yeah.
Sadly, a few of them.
And none of them have gone bankrupt yet?
None of them have gone bankrupt yet.
Good to see you, sir. Thank you. This is a fascinating story, the 4-day week in New Zealand. Good to see you, sir. Thank you for joining us in the morning for your Wednesday. Look at the markets. Need to leave you, Will, before we go for a profitable moment, because the Dow is at a record. It'll be the 14th record so far this year. Not anywhere near the same as the S&P at 19 or the Nasdaq at 29, but it's still good nonetheless. And we will have a profitable moment after the break.